Hello, it's me. Hi guys, you're seeing me on your following FYPYTYMCMBMGDDG because it's Small House Saga episode. Honestly, I've lost count 11, 12, whatever, but it's Small House Saga. So yeah, take out your freezers and water. I'm just having some lemonade, okay? Well, Titty Papa, don't forget subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tanata Maramira. And if on Saturday you want to join the Women Behind the Rings, go on my profile and then you see all the details. $6.99 to join. It's a private live. So yeah, come in large numbers, but let's not get distracted. It's Small House Saga episode whatever. Let's get it. Grrr. So when I was growing up, did it like grade 4, we used to have a musician Ainzi Decibel. So he used to have this other song Ainzi Nakai. So the part that I loved the most, which is relevant to the story, pane pati anoti paita simoko pa area varume vaviri vachidaneria inge ipajere yemu area uyo dredana maria anodya yeziya motegari nenenan apa namo yekufunga kuna neria, something like that. It's a nice song. Okay, anyway, munedwana sitchamti Chichi because I'm wearing Chicago, so yeah, let's call her Chichi. Okay, Chichi says I was 25. Okay, I was living my best life. I was working in town. So at Shanam Town Udaro, time and time again they would go ku Montague, right? Ndakangano, but somewhere there, kuma avenues, kunespa, right? Vachinotenga chikafu. And, obviously, don't know the bingas of Harare, right? Wakachila or somewhere there, pa Montague, babab. And one fateful day, she was just chilling with her colleague and then Notenga lunch. And then they saw a very nice Mac Mercedes. It was black tinted, like E-class executive type shit, And then she was just like, Moteya Kanaka. So she didn't realize because the car was tinted, of course. So, she's just like, hey, this guy is nice, chichichi. And then window. And then it's like, oh, hey, girls. And then she's like, oh, hi, you have a very beautiful car, chichi. And then the guy's like, oh, thank you. And then kumashire kwakune two of these guys. And then they're just like, no, that's a beautiful car. Anyway, that's it, chichi. And then the guy's like, okay, cool. And then that was it. But she remembers saying this person looked so young, so moneyed, so well gazered. And I was like, damn, how can someone looking this good have such a beautiful car? Normally we are used to like the big bellies, pot bellies, chichichi, and them covers and whatnot. So she was just like, damn, girl, did you see that guy? And then they just started thirsting over him. And then some days later, Ndoba Fura Futi, and then they saw that car. And then she's like to her friend, Shauna Mutaya Futi again. And then that girl Vadzor after Ndoba said, hey, Mori say Chichi. And then Anzo Vatobda Mota. And he was just like, oh, what are your names, ladies? So let's just call them Chichi and Kiki. So her friend was like, I'm Kiki. And then Chichi says, I'm Chichi. And then the guy's like, okay, cool. Chichi, can I talk to you for a minute? And then Kiki's like, okay, cool, girl. And I don't know, and I'm not tired. I'm just going to go get us the food, Chichi. I'll see you after we're done. And then the guy's like, don't worry about it. I can actually go leave you Chico office. And then they're like, no, don't worry, Toshana Paduzi, Chichi, right? So now she speaks to the guy. The guy's like, oh, but I'm on my phone, shawty. I really like you. I want us to start talking. Chi. And then she's like, oh, okay, cool, no worries. What's your name? So he was like, oh, my name is Mike, okay? And okay, cool. And then that was on a Thursday, right? Then Friday, she would finish work early. And then Anga Tarana Mike. And then Mike is like, oh, so where you at, Chichi? And she's like, oh, I'm going home. It's a half day. On Fridays, we finish work around 2 p.m. And then Big Mike is like, listen, let me take you out for a nice dinner. Do you mind just going for a nice dinner? Auntie knows like Rainbow Towers, some restaurant. I don't know if it's still there. If I'm not mistaken, they sell nice traditional food, nice traditional cuisines, okay? And then Vatayenda for like dinner that was around 5 p.m. And then Vatayenda, we just enjoyed nice company, and then he dropped me off at home. Saturday we met again, we went for a nice lunch, and then Vatendo my chills, chi. So it just so happened, Kuti, they kept talking. And one particular day, it was around 8 p.m. She says when she was busy talking to this guy, there's a child, and then that child kept saying, Daddy. And then she's like, hold up, wait a minute. You got a baby. And he's like, oh, actually, I have babies. I have kids, okay? And she's like, oh, you didn't tell me. And he's like, oh, well, you never asked. But yeah, I do have kids. And then she's like, oh, okay. So where's the mom? And he's like, oh, she's in the bedroom. And she's like, wait, if you like visited your kids, they stay with the mom, what's really going on? Fill me in. And it's like, oh, well, shawty, I'm married, but it's not that serious. Anyway, she was like, what you mean you married and it's not that serious? He's like, yeah, I mean, like, it's not that serious. Open marriage? No, shawty, it's not an open marriage. You I'm a fun time. I don't know what you're not getting, you know. I love my wife, but I also love you, so just deal with it. Listen, I like you, like me. Why must my wife and my kids come in the way? So like, let's just do what we gotta do. Let's what you call this? It's a what you college, you know, type shit. And then she's like, listen, I'm already knee deep, and honestly, what I don't know doesn't hurt me, so let's just do what we do. So 7 months into the relationship, it was her birthday, and then she just jokingly said, listen, I would really love a car. And the guy's like, okay, cool, I can get you a cute little car. He got a nice Vitz, kakarike white. She gets her Vitz on her birthday, and it's like, okay, these are your keys, shawty. Registration, she say he helped her, like insurance, your motor, and all that stuff. And she was like, oh my gosh. So at home, she had to spin the story like, listen, y'all, I forgot to tell you, she was staying with her sister and her husband. Her parents both stayed in the UK, right? So she was staying with her sister and her husband. So she just spinned the story, you know, like, oh, well, my savings, and then the sister's like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, you know, and everyone is just happy for her. So now we got to a point. Now we can call him Big Mike because we have introduced the family. Now we can officially call him Big Mike. So Big Mike would see Chichi, you know, after work. He would chill with her after work, and Mazvema half days Pepe would chill with her. But he would tell her like, after 8 p.m. do not call, do not text, do not send smoke signals, do not whisper, do not whistle, do not do anything, do not show a sign that you are alive. I need to feel like you're dead. Do not show me a sign of your existence, no matter what. Do not call me. No like, do not call me, no matter what happens. And then she's like, okay, cool, daddy, that's cool. So there was an agreement, right? Until this other time, she was feeling really, really lonely. She was like, listen, I can't keep doing this because like after 8 p.m. I can't call, I can't do anything. And you know, sometimes you want to go clubbing, Kodana Pablo's with your man, you know, like chilling with my man, type shit. But she can't do that because he's married. And one thing about him, he never used to go home late. He would make sure by 8 p.m. he's in the house. He was that type of man. And my guru was running a tight program, a strict program, if we must put it that way. My guru was running a strict program on some, if you do not answer my call at the first ring, it's going to be blah, 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 all over the house, okay? So my guru was that type of person where could see if Big Mike is chilling with Chichi, if my guru calls you, be like, hey, baby. Instantly, she was running a strict program, okay? That was my guru for you. So anyway, it started getting to work. But listen, sometimes I'm chilling with you and your wife calls and it's like, listen, my sister, know your place, okay? What you mean? You should watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. This is my wife, okay? You are mafikizolo. You don't come with rules. You agreed to these terms and conditions. If you can't deal with them, go. And she was like, well, I can't go. Nemoto. Remember, he bought me a car, so there's no way I'm going to go. So he's like, then stay and keep quiet, like the little lapdog that you are. You literally say that. I'm not lying. So apparently, Chichi says sometimes Big Mike, when we're in the car, he will play songs like, I don't know if you guys know this other song, I can train on TikTok, you know, like bitches come and go. But you know that song? Yeah, he would play it like just to send a message like, listen, that's who you are, you know, type shit. But she was just in it for the benefits, okay? She was just like, this is a business, I'm just gonna do what I'm supposed to do. So there was a time she proposed, Kuti, let's just go for a little, you know, a little weekend getaway. And Big Mike is like, okay, cool. She is ready. Friday, I got to attend the school because she was like, Friday, Saturday, then we come back on Sunday, right? Friday, she didn't go to work and she was actually waiting on a book. Like, okay, call me and let me know. So the guy is like, okay, cool, I'll come pick you up around 2 p.m. She's ready, you know, and then at 2 p.m., the time he's supposed to arrive, he calls and then he says, oh, listen, my wife, I just remembered there's a function that she's supposed to go to and I'm a +1 and I can't afford to let her down because we spoke about it like 2 months ago and I totally forgot about it. So I need to be with my guru. But since we booked and everything and there's no refund, especially because it's last minute, how about you go na Kiki or you can go with your sister? I don't know, go with someone, but just don't go with me. You already have the car. I will send you money for fuel so that you can just put a food tank in. That weekend was supposed to be in Chegutu because they wanted somewhere close to Harare, just because the reason Big Mike said he wanted something close to Harare, it was a case of just in case anything urgent happens at home, so you need to be around Harare. Listen, this is a man who loved his wife. And Chichi said, listen, one thing about Big Mike, he loved his wife, he loved his children. He would drop everything from me, with me, just to be with his family. Yeah. So Big Mike was also running a strict program with his side chicks. So he's like, listen, so go with someone. She calls a friend, Kiki. She's like, Kiki, I know we finished work at 2. You already finished work. Can you rush home and make I come pick you up so we can go kunkonande? And a Big Mike Chichi, something came up. And Kiki's like, okay, cool. And then go to. They enjoyed. And then so on the last day at the resort with her friend, that's when she realized there's a group of 5 guys and there's one who's good looking, red blonde, fade and what, and is driving a Benzes. So Chichi had a thing for guys who drive Benzes. She likes her mans in Benzes, right? And then she was just like, oh, this guy's good looking, Chichi. And this guy hits her up on some, hey shawty, put your number on my phone, I'm filling you. And then she's like, you thought I'm filling you? Of course I am. Give me your phone, let me put my number in your phone. And then they just start talking, and that's when she realized that, oh, the other 4 guys he was with were actually his employees. He's a company owner. I'm going to some retreat type shit, and they just start talking. And like I said, we call the other guy who Dante, right? So Dante and Chichi are really like getting along with Todaro, and that's when she realizes that Dante stays in Vinona, I stay in Mount Pleasant, proximity type shit, and back to Tango Tonana and whatnot. When all of this is happening, Big Mike doesn't know it. So Big Mike is now like, Shawty, you're so quiet. Is you onto something or onto someone? And she's like, no, Big Mike, listen, I respect your family and I always want to give you space. And besides, I don't want my group to find us out, that type of thing. And Big Mike is like, you smart, you loyal, I appreciate that. Here's some money, spend it for no reason. She was paid $500 by Big Mike just for being loyal and doing all that stuff. She's like, listen, my loyalty is being paid, Panapa. This is the type shit I live for. She didn't tell Dante about Big Mike, and she obviously didn't tell Big Mike about Dante. Now Dante is now serious, and now she's blocking or and in the mix is Kiki. Kiki is the one who knew everything. No, she's just busy, that type of thing. So it got serious, Now she's like, I'm not gonna leave Big Mike because he's still sponsoring me, and I'm not gonna leave my boo because he matches aesthetics and he's rich and whatnot, and he can actually marry me. You know what I mean? So like, put it down and make him want to marry me type shit. She wants some, yeah. Now things get serious between Chichi and Dante, like so she was now doing that thing. She blocks this one kanana, or you blocks this one kanana, or you made sure kuti these niggas never mix no matter what. And in the mix of all of this, Kiki don't worry, she's not ignoring you, she's just busy, what, so it got to a point it was so serious. Dante ended up being introduced to Chichi's family, like her sister, husband, and the nephews and nieces, and they were like, oh, this is the official mkwasha Chichi. So there was a time Chichi went to Nyanga with Dante, just honeymoon type shit. And, as they were enjoying their time over there, it just so happened to Big Mike was like, listen, you're just too quiet, you're just too quiet. What's going on? And she's like, oh, no, it was just, an abrupt trip from work, Chichi, but I'll be back on Wednesday around 2. And Big Mike is like, okay, cool, I'll see you around that time. Now, Wednesday comes, and then Dante drops the cheek, Kuma 12. And then he's like, listen, since you're not working, let's just chill till the baguette panapa, and then we can do something later. So they were chilling from like 1 p.m. Makachila Ropa Gate, and then Big Mike was not communicating at this point, like Ndakwaka Chichi. So she was just like, oh, cost is clear. Big Mike is definitely what? Big Mike is definitely busy. But little did she know. So she's chilling in Motamime, then she sees Big Mike's car Mashure, because Ian Adantiva is a paka gate, I paka like marine, and Dopan of Tipaiman na Big Mike. Big Mike starts calling. So your phone can be on D&D, someone's call cannot come through, but if they keep calling, the call now starts showing. So Dante is like, baby girl, this phone keeps ringing, and she's like, no man, and I don't want to be stressed, Thursday, Chichi. Dante's like, okay, cool. Then it just so happened Big Mike kept walking around Dante's Benz. He had a SUV. He kept walking around the Benz, and then Dante realized, and this is too yellow, something is definitely going on. Why is it that the more this guy keeps doing this, and my shortest phone keeps lighting up? When he cuts his call, like Pano Pezode, so her phone stops also lighting up. And then he's like, who's calling you? And she says, well, and he's like, pick it up. And she says, no, I can't. And then eventually Dante asks Big Mike, and it's like, no, don't worry about it, Chichi. Then Dante is like, then he rolled down the window, and Chichi was in the car. She's like, Big Mike, and Big Mike is like, hold up, wait a minute, what's going on? And Dante's like, wait, you're trying to explain to Big Mike and you're in my car, what's going on? What the hell? Once Angarim Salad was like, what the hell, what's going on? Chichi, don't AIDS, Rudan Nemadara. And Big Mike is like, Sonny, respect yourself and respect your elders, AIDS, Chichi. And he's like, no offense to you, Mdara, but like, what is she really doing, Chichi? And then, you know, Dante's like, listen, let me call your sister. He calls the sister, and at this point, Dante's like, listen, you're no longer my responsibility. Big Mike of Apinda Motor Chichi, and then the sister comes out, she's like, what's going on? And then Dante's like, I can't believe you guys let your sister two-time me, and my good is like, no, I didn't know, honestly, and then he keeps zippering Chichi, Big Mike, ndipe makize mota yangu, where are the keys to my car, where's my car, achiramba wapa makis. And then the sister's like, Chichi, just give me the keys, it's not worth dying for, okay? And then dovapa makis, and then we park the car per corner, and then after some minutes dovapazi yamna katura mote, and then Big Mike went with his bands, and then the video vertir. So at this point, Dante is like, okay, let me leave. And then she tries to explain to Dante. Dante's like, listen, Auntie Dishagwita, anything newe, blocked. Then she's like, okay, Dante, okay, Big Mike, listen, Chichi's like, block. She's done. She got to a point where she actually wanted to like frame Prego on both of them. And they're like, listen, if you're pregnant, we'll go to the guy and we'll see Chichi. Then she just realized, thinking back, she's like, that was silly of me trying to tie me in with a baby. But I'm so glad that didn't happen because I wasn't pregnant for both of them. And that's how she just lost everything. So when you do the small house thingies with the Big Mikes and Dantes, the outcome can be like this. You can have it all at one point and then lose it all. You can't have your cake and eat it too and win. So that was a story, guys. I just hope you learned something from this. And Chichi, I'm so glad you're now mature, you've grown, and you now understand the consequences of what you wanted to do and what you did at some point. Let's not judge her. Let's send her love. And thank you for sharing your story with us. I know I have a lot of stories that I need to share with you guys. If I haven't gotten back to you about your story that you sent to me, I'm yet to come, okay? Just give me some time. I love you all and thank you so much. Bye-bye. Mwah.